In this lesson, we're going to look at adding enough CSS to get started with our student seating chart. The first thing that we're going to have to do is add a CSS link to our HTML. If you're following along with the exercise files, we are in AJAX/chapter06/03/script.html. So by now you should know how to do this, but it's link href equals script.css, rel equals style sheet, type equals text/CSS. That's all we need to add to our script.html file, but there's quite a bit we're going to have to do with script.css because right now there's nothing there. So let's start off by saying what we want in the body. And what we're going to want here is to set the font family, and we'll just pick a few nice fonts. This is in quotes because it's multiple names. If it has a space, you need to have quotes in it. And you need to end up with a generic font, always. Then because we can pick out a div, and it's going to highlight, we need to come up with a class, and we'll call it pickDiv. And if they choose a div, we want the z-index to be 3, so it will overlay the usual z-index, which is 1. We'll give it a background color of red, but we don't really want it to be a dark red. We want it to have some opacity. It ends up looking kind of like a pale pink. So an opacity of 20%. Next off, we have an image on the page that we want to just be, we want a little bit more margin than we'd normally get. So let's give it a margin top of 10 pixels and a margin left of 5 pixels. That'll make it stand out just a bit. Now if you remember, we created an ID called detail in the HTML. Here's where we say what we want it to look like. Now we want it to be hidden because it's only going to pop up when we tell it to. And it needs to be positioned to absolute because in order for us to tell it where it needs to go, it has to be positioned absolutely. Going to give it a background color of white. Going to give it a border of 1 pixel, solid gray. A z-index of 5 because we want it to show up on top of the pick div if the two overlap. A width of 100 pixels should be enough. A height of 75 pixels. We're going to set overflow to be hidden on the off chance that there's too much data to put in it. We don't want it to overflow and look silly. And we want it to be fairly small, so let's set a font size of 0.6 ems. And finally, we're going to give it a padding of 5 pixels to put some space around it. And the last rule we're going to add to the CSS file, if you noticed when we looked at the page in action, there was a small close box in the top right-hand corner of the detail. So we need to create the close box. And here's the rule for that. Put a font style. Let's make it Monaco or any sans serif. Make it positioned absolute because we're going to place it inside the detail box. Top 1px, left 97 pixels. That's just within the 100 across. Font size is again 0.6 ems. Border here is going to be 2 pixel solid gray and give it a margin of 3 pixels. And that's all we need to add to our CSS right now. Next up, we're going to go into Dreamweaver and have it do all the plain and boring work of creating little absolutely positioned divs all over that page.